How this is going to work today, guys, I'd like to give you just a little background on the platform, on myself, and our progress so far. And then I'm going to give you a very quick demonstration of the site and then let you guys ask me as many questions as you wish. So without further ado, my name's Chris Dyson. I am the founder of the NLS.com. I've been working in luxury real estate for the last 25 years. I spent 6 years in Spain on the Costa del Sol, where I worked I'd like to think, a very high level. Then I got the opportunity to move to Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. And there I've worked, thankfully, at what's probably one of the pinnacles of luxury real estate in the last 20 years. And I've been able to be a part of and see up close and personal what the best agents in the world look like in terms of their workflows, in terms of the tools that they have access to, and also the tools that they don't have access to. And when I built the NLS.com, this was originally built for the US market. It was built to compete with the US MLS and public portals. And I wanted to take all of that experience from an agent's point of view, which is really important as well, and combine all of the things that agents need to perform at the highest level. What's a really important point is that you guys are my first customer. Okay, I've built this with the perspective of making sure that I am keeping all of your best interests and needs at the center of what we're doing. I want to make you guys as agents future-proof. I want to give you the tools that make you more valuable and relevant to your clients. I want to give you the tools that are going to make you more profitable, more effective. And I want to put all of those tools in one place. And so that is what we have done. And as I say, we originally built this for the US. But when I came to Spain, I'm very familiar with Spain and spent a lot of time here and love it here. I was shocked at the unregulation, the disjointed nature of the portals here in Spain, both the B2C portals, the lack of consolidation in the B2B portals, especially. The first things that you guys should be able to do as agents is access clean data, and clean data that is comprehensive, not have to go to one site to try and find some of the information and then go to another site to get more of the information. For a start, super costly, but it's super inefficient. And then when you get to these platforms, you should be able to connect to the listing agent. And so that is the first problem that we're solving with the NLS, is that we have built this to be a B2B2C portal, but in the B2B, the MLS functionality, we want to give you guys access to comprehensive clean data so that when you're making your appointments, when you have a buyer, then you can connect to the listing agent and collaborate if there is collaboration to be had. The platform also in the back end, again, is designed to give you guys access to tools that are going to make you more valuable and relevant. What I mean by that, I'm sure I know all of you are on umpteen WhatsApp groups where off-market opportunities are shared, buyer wants are shared. And at the moment, again, you have to go through all these groups to try and find who had that buyer, who's got that property. We let you put all of that information in one place and be searchable when you need it. So we're the first platform to be able to incorporate off-market selling solutions for your sellers. So you can give those sellers that want a discrete selling strategy, you can give them solutions for that, where you can give them exposure plus discretion, where those properties are only offered to the NLS members, but not to the public. Why that's super important is it then gives the NLS members access to information that their clients don't have. That means they need you, which is the whole game. So giving you that information is critical. We're also the first portal to be able to offer you buyer want posting. So in the NLS, you can post what your buyers are looking for. This is something in the States was super, super, super popular. Imagine when you go for a listing appointment and you know that that property is going to be available for sale for a period of time before it goes to market. Imagine you can go and access and see which agents may have a buyer for that home, and then show it and show that seller activity before you've even listed it, how good do you think you look then? Really good. So again, being able to give you all of that information in one place, in addition to clean data. And then maybe the most important thing is we're the first portal to incorporate the B2B and the B2C in one place. So we give you national MLS functionality in the back end, but we give you complete control of what happens to your listings at the front end as well. So buyers, for the first time, can now access clean data as well. One of the biggest issues in Spain, and you're all aware of it, I don't need to tell you, is that the public portals aren't regulating what the public sees. And I believe that the public portals owe it to buyers and sellers to regulate what they're showing on their platforms. At the moment, it's not happening because the portals profit from quantity, not quality. Well, we're different. We're the only portal that actually regulates and makes sure that the listing agent is the only agent that can show and publish to the public. And so by doing that, the public and buyers especially are going to get a much more compelling experience. And also, again, maybe most importantly, you guys get direct access to your lead generation. The fact that other agents can take your information and then pay to put it above you on a portal and get leads that should be coming to you, which is the gold and the reward for having those listings, I think is borderline criminal. And we're stopping that. And so it's actually already happened. I know Albi, who's on the call here today, we just delivered a lead for him for €1 million townhouse that I believe they offered full price on, and hopefully Albi is converting. And so that is what the platform is. It's designed to do everything that all the other portals do in one place, plus 10 times for half the price. So that's it. Without further ado, I'm going to give you a very quick rundown and presentation of the site. And then if you have any questions afterwards, I'm here for as long as you need. So first of all, let me take you to here. So hopefully everybody can see this. So this is the homepage. This is where the public comes to view. So first of all, in fact, let me do Palma actually. So Palma de Mallorca, one click, and you're at properties. And so here you can customize your search, but within one click, you're at properties. This again, this is designed to be the houses, the show, big pictures, beautiful images. The only person that a buyer can contact when they get here is the listing agent. So they fill in their information here, and that lead is delivered directly to the listing agent. What's also really cool on the platform is we have your own public-facing property page. And so here you can actually advertise all of your active listings. And not only that, you can also show your past business here, which is huge for credibility. So we allow you to post your previous sales, which, again, from a credibility standpoint, if you can send this link to a new buyer and they can see that you've sold 100 million euros in property in the last 12 months, then the conversations that you have with that buyer afterwards are going to be a lot easier than if you didn't. So again, trying to focus on giving you tools that add value and relevance and make your job easier, that's exactly what we're here to do. So that's what the front end of the platform looks like. Super intuitive, super easy. And now I'm going to take you into the back end, and this is what the users see. So this is the dashboard for the members here. So this is the whole NLS universe. And so you can get a whole market watch of total listings, see which agents have done what. You have a haves and wants page here, which shows the activity in terms of new members, in terms of new properties. So you have access to all of the information here. You can customize this dashboard so that you only see here, if I want to put in Mallorca or Malaga or Granada, then you can literally condense this so it just shows you what's in your area. Important things to know. How do we approve properties? This is a really important point, and this is something that I want to show in detail. You can see here in my listings, this is one of our existing members. This is Panorama. They are the oldest agency here in Marbella. I should also say, just very quickly, we launched in Marbella in October last year. We're now at round about 700 agencies that have signed up in the last 6 months or so. And it's fast becoming the underlying infrastructure by which agents work. So again, this should be the source for where you go to make your appointments and where you add your properties. So let me just show you how that happens. So here, we allow you to input your properties through an XML feed. So you can see Panorama has their XML feed here. You attach it, you load. Once that property feed is imported, those properties are then imported here into drafts. So here you can see these are all of Panorama's drafts. And in order to get those approved, you have to show us that you have a listing agreement. And one very important point on this, we don't want the listing agreement. We just want to make sure that you have it. Once we've seen that you have it, it gets deleted. And you can either upload it here, which I'll show you, or we can do screen shares with Google Meets, and you can show us the listing agreements to actually get the property approved. And the heavy lifting is in the initial onboarding, but once that happens, it's a case-by-case basis and it's super quick. But you can see here, all the information is in. If I try to submit that, you upload the listing agreement there, submit it, we get an email, we can check it, and then we can approve it. Once it is approved, if I take you back to the dashboard, it then goes into my active listings here, and that's when the public and the other agents can see. So this is all of Panorama's active listings right now that have all been approved and all verified. So super easy, super quick. In terms of searching, again, really, really important. I want to draw your attention to this part of the screen here, which is NLS Private or NLS Public. The private is the off-market opportunities that I was talking about earlier on, which is the real gold for the members. So, for instance, if I wanted to, well, let me just do a public search first, and I'll just show you very quickly. Super intuitive. If I want to do 1 million to, say, 2 million, I'll just do Marbella, and I want a villa, and I want an active status. You can also check and you can search which properties are under contract, active contract, which are pending, which are sold, which are expired, which are withdrawn as well. So we give you full access to not just current data, but also historic data. So if I count those, so there's 63 listings. Now I get the one-line view of all of these listings here, and I want to see these 3, for example. Obviously, if I'm making appointments, I want to speak to the agent. So the next page is taken to is the listing agent's information. So I can see who's got the listing and I can make appointments directly with the listing agent. However, if I want to send that to a client, I obviously don't want to send the listing agent. I want my branding, but with those listings. So here you have the client detail where the agent detail has been removed. And I'm going to send that to myself. And then literally within seconds, I get that. I'll turn my phone off, I think. But I get that email, but it's only with the listing, the member, with their branding and not the listing agent. I'm going to go back to search. First of all, I'm going to just go back here. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm going to see if there's any questions. Chris, just confirming owner's details are in the listing agreements can be redacted. Yes, super important. Again, we don't want the listing agent, the owner's details. We just want to make sure that you have an agreement between an owner and the property. And we're not a marketing agreement with another agent. You have to have the direct listing. Simple as that. Okay. Back to search. Private. This is the bit, again, which I think is really important. So I'm just going to count our private listings, show me. So you can see here, these are all private listings that are not in the public domain. So I want to see this one, and I want to see this one, and this one. So this is information that your clients don't have. And that's really important because, again, it gives you value, gives you a reason to be. So if I want to show this, I can speak to Olga at Key Estates. If I want to show this one, I speak to Buying the Sun. Again, you have all of their information here. But that's information. And again, what's really important, Olga and Buying the Sun are able to now give these sellers exposure without compromising their discretion. So these sellers that want to keep it out of the public domain are able to show it, and it's not in a group where it gets lost and you don't know which group it's in. This is at your fingertips when you need it. If there's one reason to join, this is probably one of the most important reasons. And then I also want to show you our buyer want functionality because that is super cool. So here, to add a want, to add your buyers, it's all super intuitive. Again, you just fill out all of the details. I'm looking for a villa between, say, $1 million and $2 million or 200,000, whatever it is. You fill in all of this information, area. I want it to be in Estepona or whatever. And then, so you literally fill in all this information. Title and description is really important. This is where, you know, this is where the information that you share here is going to help. So the more that you can add, the better. And then once you've added that want, again, that then becomes searchable for other agents. And so I'm going to go from properties here to search wants. And I'm just going to, let me see here. Want a villa, let's count that. How's it doing that? There we go. All right, so I want this one, this one, this one. I go to the agent detail. So again, modern new build in Gulf Valley, or south, searching villa to renovate in Southwest Mallorca. There's Albi, that's actually a real one there. Port Soler, Sebastian Hansen. So you have all of the buyer wants information. So again, when you have a house that you're looking to sell, you can go and search for which agents have the buyer, and we're the only portal that does this, literally. So there's some of the high level, really important bits to take into consideration on the site. Here you can see save searches. When you do your searches, you can save a search so that you get an alert anytime it comes up. If I click on that, it gives me all the results for what's in that search, and I can get all of those properties. You have the opportunity here to see how you want to get your notifications, whether by email or text. Again, you have access. Oh, this is a really important part here as well, membership. So everyone on the call here is probably an owner, an agency owner, and you want to be able to add your salespeople and give them access to the site, but with limited permissions. So here, you can add an agent, either send them this link or add their email and then send it to them. And your team members, your salespeople can create accounts, but what they can't do is they can't add active listings unless you want them to. The active listings are you as the agency owners, they're your gold. That's where the leads are going to come in from, both from agents and from the public. And so, but you do want your team members to be able to search, make appointments. You want them to be able to add what their buyers are looking for so that other agents can contact them. You want them to be able to curate their profile so that they can add their sold listings and so that they can have their own digital asset as well that they can send to clients before they see them. So that's what the permissions are with the team member accounts. And that's a really important part as well of making sure that your company and your team is really getting the most out of the platform. So I'm going to stop sharing there. I'm going to start. I'll take any questions if anybody has any questions about it. Okay. Everyone asked this question, and I'm delighted to answer it. At the end of the day, if one seller gives multiple listing agreements, it will end up being like other portals with repeated houses, or can this be prevented? No is the answer, because like if I went on Ideal Lister right now, there's a difference between having an open listing with 3 listing agents and having 10 non-listing agents scrape information and place it on a portal, then pay for it to be placed. There's a very big difference between that. If a seller, and by the way, I could have a whole webinar on why sellers should have exclusive listings and not open listings, which maybe we'll do one of these days. But If a seller decides that John, Albie, and Florian are going to have the listing agreement, then they give it to those three agents, and those three agents can list the property on our platform. Our promise to the public is that we will always connect you to the listing agent. And so if a buyer wants to give it to 3 or 4 people, then that's up to them. The bit that we're stopping is, as I say, I can take you on our site and show you the house that's listed once, and then show you that same house that's listed 5 times on Ideal Lister. None of them are the listing agent. Even an open listing, none of them are. That's the problem. And that's what we're trying to change. So again, and I do believe that there is going to come a change with listing with sellers where they will understand, and I'm hoping that we can help you, give you the ammunition to have those conversations with sellers about where they should be signing exclusive listing agreements and not open listing agreements, but one step at a time. When there are multiple, who gets the listing agent, right? Again, that's another important point, and it's why we have our profiles. So if you see the same house with 2 or 3 agents, you're going to want to check on the profiles and see which one's more credible. You're going to want to make sure that your ratings and reviews are curated and that you foster those ratings and reviews. You're going to want to add your previous sales so that you can look as credible as possible. You're going to want to, so there are the things that we let you do, but we don't allow agents to pay to be above another agent. We give you the same level playing field, and we let the market decide who they want to speak to, which is, I believe, how it should be. I'm a free market conditions guy. Can you send listings to buyers post to suggestions for collaboration over this site? That's something that we're working on, actually, Philly. That's something that's been suggested about creating a collaboration agreement between the agents, and it's something that we're looking at. I can tell you that if I was giving this webinar presentation in about 2 weeks, there would be a lot more exciting things that I can show you. For instance, we have an AI agent both at the back end and at the front end. So we have an AI agent right now at the back end that helps you navigate the site. If you have any questions, about anything, the AI agent the concierge will take you around and show you how to use it. More importantly, at the front end, we're working on some groundbreaking AI integration where the AI will actually qualify the client, can ask them questions about what it is they're looking for, the most important things, budget, financing, area, lifestyle, and then we can start to guide them so that when you do get those leads, they're a lot further down the funnel than just a cold lead that you get initially. Reviews are only for the B2B perspective. No, that's part of our self-policing. The reviews are very much public facing, just like an Uber rating. So again, you want to make sure that you're acting in the best possible way, as always, which everyone on this call obviously does. So we are trying to create the most trusted and regulated environment possible. And we want to try and make sure within an inch of our lives that, bad actors are going to act badly, but we want to make sure they can't act badly on our platform. What's really important is that we want to make sure that our members can only add value. So they can't take information, scrape it, and put it above yours on our platform. They can only call you to inquire about a listing and a buyer that they may have, and then you can decide if you want to deal with them or not. But we're going to facilitate the connection. Albie, 4 pocket listings. We can post as much or as little information as we like, correct? Some owners not even want photos at the beginning stage, or at least price. Yes, exactly. I mean, candidly, guys, this is exactly how this site began. This site began in 2017 as a pocket listing site. Where I'm from in Beverly Hills in Los Angeles, there's a huge chunk of the market, sellers that don't want their information in the public domain. If you're a celebrity, if you're in the public eye, you may not want your house or certainly your address being shown to everybody. And so we created this platform to be able to give those sellers exposure, but also being acutely aware of what the agents can and can't share when it comes to pictures. And when you're searching, you search usually on 2 things, price and location. So we allow you to literally just those 2 things. So if you've got a pocket listing in Palmer for 6 million, you can put in Palmer at 6 million, and that listing and your information will come up. You will then get the connection with the agent that's looking for it, and then you can decide how much that you want to disclose or not. And so again, we've built this portal from the agent's standpoint, and that's super important. Most portals, whether it's B2B or B2C, are built by corporations that think they know what the agents want and what they need. And this has been built using literally the best practices on the planet and the tools and the workflows that those agents use to thrive. And I want to make sure that the agents in Spain have access to the same set of tools. And that's why we've built it. So, does anybody else have any more questions? I might have missed some here. Sounds good. In order to join, everybody on this list is going to get an email after the webinar with a link to join. It is completely free. There is no commitment. There's no contract. There is no credit card. We are actively scaling in Mallorca right now, and we need to do our part of the bargain, which is deliver you guys a network effect, and we need to give you critical mass of both agents and properties, and we're investing heavily in making sure that that happens. We have a whole team here dedicated to the onboarding process. What I'm going to ask you to do as and when you join is send us directly your XML feeds if you want to import leads with those XML feeds. And so we can optimize those feeds. Again, we have a whole digital tech team that only job is XML feeds and making sure they import correctly. So you're going to get a link where you can create your profile. Once you've created your profile, the two things, want to make sure that you have a link to your bio and your logo added in the profile. In the top right of your dashboard, just click there. Add a logo and a bio is the very first thing. Buyers are visiting the site. As I say, we are delivering leads. So you want to make sure that they can find you and that you look good when they get there. So the three things: bio, logo, XML feed. And we're here to help you with all three. Anonymous attendee, as a team member, it's better to wait on the owner to send a link for me to join. Yes, you have to. So if you are a salesperson on this call, bother your owner to create an account so he can then create an account for you. You can't create an account unless you are the owner of the account or have approval from the owner of the company. How does that sound, guys? I know that time is precious and I don't want to keep you here unnecessarily. All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I am absolutely honored and delighted that you joined me today. And I want to thank you very much, really from the bottom of my heart. We're very excited about this platform. A lot of hard work. We've got very, very exciting plans for the future. We have very exciting partners that can shine a very, very bright light on this platform in terms of driving traffic. Obviously, I'm sure you will understand that we don't want to be driving traffic until there's enough property there, which is why it's free. That's the bargain that we're making with you. And so when you do, we'll live up to our part of the bargain when we have the properties on there. And as I say, we're working hard very much towards a launch in September for that, for proper lead generation and traffic being driven to the platform then. And we're going to be working our tails off now to make sure that we deliver you an infrastructure and a network effect that is both valuable and compelling, and most importantly, has clean data. So there you go. Last one from Anonymous. Hopefully it can regulate the market, but I feel Valeria's market is the real Wild West and it might take time. Listen, anything worth doing takes time. And it's only impossible till it's done. I'll leave you with that. And we're going to do it. Guys, thank you very much indeed. And Chris at the NLS.com is my email. If you have any questions at all, you can contact me directly on that. Please look out for an email that will be following this webinar. And I can't wait to see you on the site. Thank you very much indeed for your time. I massively appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.